Hello and welcome to The Insider, a show designed to clue you into the biggest news, events and announcements inside the video games industry, discussing with you some things you may know, some things you may not, and the glue that holds it all together is a little bit of my own opinion. My name is Paul James, thank you very much for watching, and let's get for the episode. After several years of speculation, the rumours are finally beginning to come to a head. Lots of people have been talking about what Google is doing and how that might impact the games industry, and it's all finally going to be coming to a head very soon. In this week's episode of The Insider, we're going to break down a lot of that, discuss what it means, and what it might bode for the gaming industry going forward.
My son, you're old enough now. My father's spear holds a certain burden, but you're ready. It carries with it a long line of power.
GDC, the Game Developers Conference, March 19th at 10 AM Pacific time. Google is inviting media representatives as well as, of course, the games development community to gather around as it sits us down and tells us that all will be revealed on this fancy special date. Now, they've said nothing more than that. It all remains to be seen, but we're going to break down a few theories, kind of go through some history, and we're going to begin to do that next.
For that, you will need courage.
For Sparta!
Cunning.
So before the roof lifts off your house in excitement, let's cool things down a little bit. Google has been to GDC before. They've been there to support their mobile arm, because of course they have mobile phones in the Google Pixel. And there's developers on the Android platform that are supporting that, and that they are supporting. So of course they've been there in the past to help look after those developers, hold little conferences, give feedback and get the conversation going. So they've been there before. This is not an uncommon thing. But there is something very different about the way they're pitching this time. From the messaging to the background knowledge that we have to the things that we know have been going on. It wasn't that long ago, and I mean just last year, that Google was putting out Project Stream, and it was supported by only one game at the time, but not an insignificant one. Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and that's been up and running for about 6 months. They will have learned a lot from the successes and failures of that project, and undoubtedly they're going to be talking about that a little bit more. Things are set to expand and to grow. It doesn't make sense for them to support it with just one game, and I know it could be a trial, but it doesn't make sense to support it in that way. We know that there's been hirings and firings, there's lots of things going on behind the scenes at Google, and we expect that things are going to blow up quite significantly very soon.
Compassion. And commitment.
Now, I think it's quite fair to assume that Project Stream is going to be bolstered significantly. Now, will it rival PSN and Nvidia and what they're doing there? Will it rival what Xbox is gearing up to do and other platforms are beginning to do as well? That remains to be seen. Obviously, Google is one of the biggest companies in the world, and they've made of money. They can throw almost an unlimited amount of resources at this particular thing, whatever it ends up being. And you can be fairly confident that it's going to be successful somewhere down the line. How much they throw at it, what they want to do with this platform, how they want to make it accessible to not just the best connected regions of the world, but even some of the poorer ones, like Australia, remains to be seen. I didn't hear much commentary about how Project Stream was faring out here in Australia, if any, if I recall. Obviously there was pockets of the US and pockets of Europe, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for everyone. So how they want to get that up and running and make that accessible to the billions of people around the world is still something that they're undoubtedly still working on and trying to refine and polish and get really ready to go for whatever it is they plan on doing. Maybe to supplement that for regions like us, that they're preparing a box. Not necessarily a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Nintendo Switch style thing, but maybe something more along the lines of like an Apple TV. It's still a streaming box, but maybe you can plug things in. Maybe there's accessories, maybe there's some sort of, you can boot a game that you download from a Google store, for example, that you can pop on a hard drive and then boot up directly from that. I don't know what that's going to look like, but there might be ways to circumvent this and allow for Google to continue to push into your home, even if you don't have the ability to stream the games directly. These are obviously just a few theories and a little bit of speculation. But if you've got some ideas, sound off in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking. And so that wraps up this episode of The Insider. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing. All those buttons are down below here, and hit that notification bell, that way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. There's heaps of stuff there, so please be sure to go and check it out. Visit the website, player2.net.au, where you'll find reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, the Player 2 Writers Draft, links to the YouTube channel and all its content, links to our podcast series, Dev Diary and the Player 2 Pixelcast, as well as the Player 2 podcast itself. Visit Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, and kick in a few bucks. You'll get early access to episodes and monthly exclusives at higher tiers. And then finally catch me at Paul James Games on Twitter, the website at player2au on Twitter. And until next time, that has been this whole Google whatever it is they're doing situation discussed. We'll undoubtedly have a lot more to discuss in about a month from now. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week for episode 100.